Welcome along, everybody, to my watch along for practice 3 for the 2025 Formula 1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. It is sunset in Vegas. They decided to move the sessions forward this year. Forward this year. So the first session is in sunset. I actually kind of like the sunset vibes in comparison to nighttime. You can see all the buildings around. You can see the sun setting. That's beautiful. I missed the first 15 minutes of practice yesterday because my internet went down. But anyways, welcome along into the watch along. This is how it works. You got my face here. You got the live timings here. You got the session timer down the bottom left that you can sync on up with, and you got lovely Twitch chat that you can type in. So if you're watching right now on TikTok or YouTube, come join us on Twitch. We're live every Grand Prix weekend for every single session. So we'll be live later on today for quali. We'll also be watching F1 Academy Race 1. So yeah, plenty of things happening on the stream today. It is 12:30 at night, midnight for me right now, so I am talking a bit quieter than normal. I had some people yesterday say they preferred the vibes, but I feel like I can't be my normal energy when I'm talking like this. So yeah, anyways, session's about to begin. Let's get on into it. Yesterday's takeaways. I mean, yesterday got fucked by the manhole cover. We've now found out it wasn't a drain, it was a manhole cover. So different to last year, but way bigger. Actually, Kim Millman posted a pretty interesting video about that, which we'll watch shortly on the stream, or in between sessions on the stream, covering the manhole cover and everything that happened yesterday. So yeah, hopefully none of that again today, because that really ruined kind of a look into the pecking orders before we get into qualifying later today for F1 Fantasy. So you're 1 hour early. I think it's 2 hours earlier they did the session. Anyone else notice Ant on comms keeps talking about turn 6-7? Some video, how's it going, dude? Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's 2 hours earlier this year. It's Feathers, thank you for the follow. Also, Romulus, Zorro, then goes for the offline follows. Why is my hair doing this, man? Oscar helmet's so ugly with the orange. I think Oscar has produced the ugliest helmet 2 years in a row. I do not like Oscar's helmet. 3 years in a row, sorry. He's got zero taste. Wait, that kid had a McLaren jumper on and then he pulled it up and there's a Red Bull shirt underneath. That could have been a meme if his mum didn't block him from doing that. You're gonna get about an hour of sleep. Oof. Wait, so you tuned in the start of the stream, now you're leaving before practice starts. What? Everybody seemed to be missing the one particular corner, peculiar corner. What do you think is gonna happen tonight? What, like going off at the, you mean where everyone was locking up? Yeah. I mean, it's just a very tricky track. I mean, you know, these cars are going out, no rubber. It's just going to be, especially in these conditions as well. Actually, what's the rain looking like? I just realized yesterday we were expecting rain and now it's not raining. Las Vegas weather. What time is it over there? What time is it in Vegas right now? Las Vegas. So it's 4:31 right now. Ooh. 20% chance of rain. 20% chance of rain around qualifying time. Okay. Actually, no. No, after quali. Damn. What about tomorrow? No, tomorrow's going to be dry as well. Damn. Why are you yawning? Am I yawning? Why are you judgy, man? Why are you always judgy? How's it going though, Tanks man? Good to see you. Inters? Wait. He's on Inters? The hell? I mean, yeah, the track's cold, but I don't think it's damp. What's he doing? Lewis's helmet is jork worthy. Jork worthy. That's an interesting way to put it. Oh, it actually is wet. Oh, okay. So it was raining earlier, so the track is way too damp. So everyone's gonna come out in Inters. Interesting. Wow, this practice session is gonna be a stinker. Wait, why isn't Russell in his car? Oh, this is gonna be such a shit session, man. We've got yesterday we got cucked by the fucking manhole cover. Today we're gonna get fucked over by the wet. I just want to see the pecking order so I know what to do for my fantasy team. Brussels horror farming. I can't hear the word stinker without thinking of Calfreezy. Stinker. Burger. I love how Calfreezy. Oh yeah, I didn't put the timer up. Sorry, I forgot about that. I love how Calfreezy hates that now. But you can imagine though, every single time someone comes up to him, say stinker, stay burger, mustard. They were the bullet. I swear this track is the most fuck up your qualifying track ever. So many incidents. Yeah, I mean it's the way the track is like being a street circuit, but also so dusty, so cold, and now wet. It's so hard to string a lap together. Chippo has had a stinker. I was doing some NASCAR 25 by T-Mac with T-Mac last night, and I put a clip of T-Mac causing a massive wreck. Turn one in Chicago. Is T-Mac actually like T-Mac's been streaming the game a bit, right? So he must be enjoying it. I do like Lewis's helmet. Lewis's helmet is so nice. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna look mid in real life because usually what happens is when they take the photos of their helmet, they use like a stage helmet. Specifically like Lando, that was a stage helmet. Or like what year was it? Whatever year it was when Lewis rocked a special helmet, I think for Japan or Singapore or something. And like it looked nothing like what it looked like in the photos. So I was worried that was gonna be the case, but it looks so nice in real life. Oh my god, we're in such a shit transition period here right now. The track's not wet enough for inters, but it's not dry enough for dryers. Everyone's just gonna be chilling. Wait, is that a Santander logo? Is Santander called Open Bank in America? That's fair though. Looks cool. I can't lie. Yeah, it's interesting though. When F1 sessions are on, the sphere only shows F1 stuff. Sorry, F1 owned stuff. But when the sessions end, like you can see like there's like cool Lego stuff, there's like Cadillac stuff. So F1 have basically just like bought the rights to the sphere during sessions for the broadcast, which is cool, obviously. But like there's so many cool F1 advertisements on the sphere this week, like the Lego one. Um, yeah, there's a Cadillac one. There's F1 Academy one. There's a bunch of cool stuff, but they just don't get shown. Omega's owned by Santander, right? That makes sense, yeah, because the logo is like identical. When is qualifying? Qualifying will be 2.5 hours after. Yeah, so 3.5 hours from now. 2.5 hours after quali ends. I don't like the sphere with the smiley face helmet that follows the cars. I think that looks dumb. He looks dumb, and the way he tracks the drivers looks dumb. Mason, Chris, thank you guys for the follows. What's your favorite F1 game? F1 2020. Handling was great. Classic cars were great. Everything was great. I mean, it was obviously every F1 game has problems, but F1 2020 was my favorite. I think the general consensus is F1 2020 is the best F1 game. 21's good as well, but you don't have classic cars in 2021, but you do have Breaking Point. I haven't played the Breaking Point in this year's game. I completely forgot. I completely forgot it existed. Talk about Lando's helmet looking like cake and how the wind will work on it. Well, you got to remember he's not rocking the same helmet that is in his photos on socials. That's actually his helmet's actually a prime example of what we were just talking about. Lando's helmet was designed with like the thickness and the paint on it, but that's just a show helmet. His actual helmet is an actual helmet with like a normal finish. Kakoi, thank you for the follow. You get F1 2020 for free now because it's abandonware. Wait, what do you mean you can get it for free? Oh my god, look how good Lewis's helmet looks. That emote's so good. I imagine being wrong and ugly. Poor Luke, man. The replica one for Lewis is really disappointing. Wait, what do you mean the replica one? Like the ones that they're selling on the shop? Never knew you added this. Yeah, well, I think I added it to Luke's stream, then I just added it to mine as well. But yeah, I really hope you get a good sense of the pecking order coming into quality because I'm so lost after FP1 and FP2. Oh my god, look how slippery the track is. My god. Phoenix, same for the vlog. The mini better than Spark. Wait, can you link it? I haven't seen it. Yeah, Ollie yesterday was complaining about how poo this track is. Signs was also complaining about the Piastri penalty. To be honest, Signs is valid. Signs is valid. His complaint is valid. Piastri getting a pen in Sao Paulo is an absolute joke. However, Signs needs to stop complaining. When he causes an incident, he complains. When he gets involved in an incident, he complains. He's just complaining. Bro, lock in for a sec. Let's focus on getting our car to the finish line in a good position. Beating Albon. Less yap, more drive. I can't believe the amount of incidents Signs has been involved in. Not all his fault, but a good amount his fault. Slap Mola. McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari in that order this week, you reckon? I mean, I don't know what it is. So again, it's hard to tell with the pecking order. I would say Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull. I don't think Ferrari's going to be top 3 this week. You watch the F1 Academy race? Yes, we will be watching the F1 Academy race on the stream. Savita, what is up? The volley. It's a pathetic penalty. Yeah, I think that should have been Kimi's pen, in my opinion. At the very least, racing incident. I did the Bubba emote. Wait, what's the Bubba emote? Yeah, see, that looks poo. Yeah, that mini helmet looks poo, or the replica looks poo. Maybe it's just the photos, but it doesn't look good. For £13,000? Hell no. Oh my god, excuse me. If a replica doesn't look 1-to-1, I don't want it. You must be tired. It's midnight. No, I only woke up like 6 hours ago. I'm on a fucked sleep schedule for Vegas. To be honest, I'm not enjoying it. It's crazy how much your circadian is that the word? Circadian rhythm affects your body. So like, oh, you have a flag. Oh, it's a Williams. No way, Sainz has crashed. Oh no, this is Sainz. It's Albon. I think Albon's in the wall. He's either in the wall or down the runoff. Oh, he's good. Okay, he just went down the runoff. Yeah, it's crazy how much your circadian rhythm affects you. Like, you'd think, oh, you got 7-8 hours sleep last night. That's good. But no, I'm waking up. I'm going to sleep at the moment when the sun's coming up, and I'm waking up when it's dark. And like my body clock, even though I've got 8 hours sleep, I've hit the gym today. Like I've eaten, I feel, everything. I'm drinking caffeine. Like I should feel fine. I just don't because my body's like, time to sleep. It's nighttime now. It's hard, man. It's hard. He wasn't advocating the Monza Behrman pen. That's the same as Oscar's, and he did it. Wait, what? What is it? Should be. There we go. What happened to Albon? Oh, okay. He did not need to back out there, but some of us for most of the season. Hey, do you stream and need to be talking for 6 hours and trying to be entertaining for 6 hours? You can nap in between sessions. You can chill. You can do whatever you want. But no, I get it's hard. I get it's hard for Americans for these part of the races, but you gotta remember, like, it's very different sitting on your couch watching F1 versus being on a stream. Because I want to bring my full energy to a stream, but I've got fucking neighbor next door, and I've got limitations on the time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting Vegas out of the way, past the American portion this season, back to normal for Qatar and Abu Dhabi. Sainz turned to Behrman and Monza with Behrman getting the pen. I don't remember that incident. Oh, wait, no, I do. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Signs a funny guy. I feel like he's just complaining so much lately. Yo, it's raining. What's up, the real gamer? Is it raining? It did rain and the track is damp, but have you tried cocaine? I have not. Might try that soon. Shy Shayla, what is up? Name of the follow. Is it light rain? It was raining before. The track's damp. That's why they're out in enters. It's dry enough, but track temps are too low, yeah. Special delivery needs to be limited to 2 races. I feel like V-Carb always have something special for 2 races. Wait, what do you mean? Do you mean they have to use it for 2 races? Or they can only change it for 2 races? I swear there used to be a rule where you could only do 3 special deliveries a year. Or change delivery 3 times a year. And you couldn't change your helmet or something. Because Seb used to do a special helmet every race. Or a different helmet every race. Back in the day. And then they like changed it with a rule, which is dumb. What time is it for you? It's 12:30 at night. Yeah, I wish they limited special deliveries to three a year, because then I feel like it would stop teams from doing these dumb little, like what Alpine's done, where you just chuck a little bit of yellow in the car, because then they'd use up, a special delivery. I think it ruins the point of a special delivery. But then again, who's to say that even if you limit it to 3, we're still not going to get 3 bum liveries like we've had for Alpine, like we've had with who else has done a shitty little adaptation to the livery? To us, they've all done a shitty adaptation to the livery at some point, really. User is the follow. Sauber, yeah. I mean, Sauber's is somewhat. I mean, yeah. Yeah, not really. I'm more mean with like the sponsor, like Alpine this week. Apparently, they added more pink to the car. I can't fucking tell. The paint splash. Oh yeah, the paint splash. Yeah, I forgot about that. Lol. Lol. Just imagine Audi top 5 team next year. I mean, it could be. They're unlike Cadillac, they are replacing an already existing team. I read a really interesting article the other day about from the race talking about Audi. Apparently, at the Sauber factory, Audi have already come in and started gutting the factory, which you never really think about this stuff, right? Like, technically, Audi isn't in Formula One till January 1st, 2026, but they're already at the Sauber factory gutting it. Apparently, if you go to the Sauber factory now, it's not Sauber. They've taken down all the Sauber branding, all the Sauber framing and stuff like that. Like, it feels like an Audi factory. And it kind of makes sense because, like, you don't want to be spending the first 2 months of your season, rebranding the factory and getting the factory all set up the way you want. But at the same time, like, it's funny to think that, like, Audi has technically taken over the Sauber factory and it's still Sauber owned. So I don't know. I wonder how those deals get negotiated. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Audi factory looks like. But imagine walking in and you're working for Steak Kick Sauber and you're just seeing like Audi logos everywhere. You fear that Audi and the Rebel powertrain will be a dumpster fire? Well, the latest rumor is Audi actually have a pretty interesting engine. And rumored to be second best behind Mercedes, which would be insane for a team, being in the sport for the first time. The other interesting thing about Audi is apparently Audi is producing 2 engines. So they're not just working on one engine, they're working on 2 engines. They're making is that a manhole cover? No, please don't tell me that's a manhole cover. Something's just come off Liam's car. Apparently Audi is producing 2 engines for the 2026 season. One engine is going to be an engine that is reliable and can be used solely for practice. So basically, every practice session they chuck this engine in, and its sole goal is reliability. and lasting as long as possible. So one of their 4 engines for the, is it 4 engines they get a year? So one of their 4 engines would be just a dedicated power unit for practice sessions that last the whole year. And then they'll have 3 engines that will be dedicated to race trim, to be as fast as possible and reliable enough to last the season. Which is, I'm kind of like, that's so smart. Why did no one think about that beforehand? Like, why has no one done this before, where they make an engine that's reliable and then they have 3 engines that, you know, less reliable, and they're like perfectly calculated to last the amount of time that they need for the season without the practice sessions. Because a lot of teams, obviously, they kind of put an engine in, and then once it starts to get warm, they use that for practice, and then once that gets used, and blah blah blah. However, my concern with what Audi are doing is one of Red Bull's problems, which Laurent Mekies came in. Keep in mind, Laurent Mekies is a ex engineer turned team principal, so he understands how the cars work. He came into Red Bull and discovered that Red Bull were rocking their engines at 60% power during practice sessions, and in Imola, they decided, no, we're going to rock the engines at 100% during practice. And that's when they solved the problem with the cars, with the setups. And that's when they went on that kind of string of like really, really good races afterwards. And yeah, so running your engine at a lower speed, or running a different engine in general, it's just going to feel different, and you can't get the car in the right window before qualifying. So I don't know. I like what Audi have in mind, but it is interesting to think, like, the feel of the car. F1 cars are so delicate, so if you change an engine and you make a setup for that engine, then you put a different engine in, like, it could affect the speeds, it could affect the cornering, like the gear, yeah, very interesting. What's up, Danny Rocks? Yeah, Audi making a test engine that's reliable. Yeah, I don't think there was a manhole, but something did come off Liam's car. Do you think Charles will get a pen for the gearbox? Wait, what gearbox? King, Kitras, think else the follows. What are your predictions on 2026? I think Mercedes will be the best team. I think it will be the 3 Mercedes powered teams at the top. Well, and Alpine, 4 Mercedes powered teams at the top. Don't get pens for gearbox changes anymore? Well, if you go outside your limit, you do. Wait, what do you mean, Sunrise? Because if you go outside your allocated amount, you still get a pen. And if you change your gearbox after quality, you still get a pen. AJ Webb, name of the bollock. Inters, yeah, the track's too damp. It's not raining, it's just damp. Hey, man. He's retired as a bad at Vegas this year. I mean, it's hard to tell. We're on Inters right now. I do kind of wish party mode was still available. Well, it's still available. It's just you can't do it. Yeah. I kind of like how they could turn the engines up and down during sessions, but yeah. For people who don't know, I think it was prior to 2020, you could adjust your engine speeds during a session. So Mercedes would turn their engine down in Q1 and Q2, and then they'd turn it up in Q3, and then they just slam dunk on everyone. It would help with reliability because they don't need to have the engine running as strong. Obviously, they can easily make it through to Q3 without needing to have the engine turned up. And yeah, people were just constantly turning up and down the engines. And to be honest, I don't mind it, to be honest. It makes sense, but it kind of just made Q1 and Q2 feel, well, not pointless, but like, I don't know, you kind of want to see the cars running at their best at all times. As far as I know, there's no limit this year. Oh, there's definitely a limit. There's 100% a limit. Otherwise, they'd be putting engines in way more frequently. But I'm surprised we don't get engine pens much anymore. Maybe you are right, but I don't think that's the case. Wish Granter and Gunveer, thank you guys for the follows. I have 2 questions. First, is Max having a good pace? And second, is it raining? It's not raining. The track's just damp. And Max's pace, again, we don't know because it's damp. How's it going though? Max Verstappen Jr. on the trip. I wish quality was in these conditions for Q1, but not later on. Oh, yeah, these would be very tricky conditions for qualifying if it's like this. Yeah, exactly, Phantom. Well, it's 4 teams, remember. Mercedes, Power, Mercedes, Williams, McLaren, and Alpine next year. It's weird. Yeah, Ferrari do look decent so far this weekend. But again, we've not been able to see like proper pace yet. Maybe Alpine might be 21, 22 every race. No Renault next year. No, Renault decided. Okay, fun story. We're gonna watch. We'll watch the clip later and it will explain it a little bit better. But for people that don't know, Renault obviously made their own engines for Alpine. So Alpine is a sub brand, is the luxury brand for Renault. So Renault made the engines for Alpine. It was their own engine. For some reason last year, was it this year or last year? I think it was this year. They decided we're abandoning the engine development and we're moving to Mercedes. They decided it wasn't worth it. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, something I didn't know that happened is this week or last week, the Renault factory was broken into and secret confidential documents were stolen in the engine department. And apparently, the French police have said that the people who stole it knew the factory well and it was an inside job. So the conspiracy is that someone has stolen the Renault engine documents. And if they're stolen, well, it's technically not cheating because who knows where they've gone. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. So there is engine documents out there that someone can has taken and learnt from. And I mean, there's 2 ways the conspiracy can go, right? One is another team has stolen those documents for their own benefit, which I would say is unlikely. Well, not unlikely. I don't think it's that one. I reckon Mercedes or Renault themselves have stolen it so they can use that information on the Mercedes engine. And it's kind of just been like an inside job. Either way, it's interesting because it's just funny that like they abandoned their engine, but they still wanted to use that information towards their engine. But that engine's obviously been powered by Mercedes, but Renault aren't allowed to give that information to Mercedes because it's outside their development time and their budget cap and blah, 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 blah. So it just got stolen. It just went missing. So I don't know. I don't know why that wasn't reported more, but either way, we'll watch the video later. They explain it better, but I don't know, very fascinating. What's your mind on Lance Stroll? Do you like him? I mean, he's my least favorite driver on the grid from multiple standpoints. I don't think he's the worst driver on the grid. I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. But I wish he wasn't in the sport. Lou back at it again. Alpine under Flavio Briatore helping Mercedes with insights from Renault. 2007 Spygate, welcome back. Flavio stealing from his own team, checks out. Yeah. I mean, stealing information is so hard, right? Because, like, as an example, as an analogy, let's say Laurent Mekies walked into VCarb's factory and looked at how they're building their car next year and then walked out, right? And then he shared that information with Red Bull. Okay, that information's already been shared, right? Okay, you punish Red Bull for doing that, blah, blah, blah. But like that information is still being shared. How do you stop someone? How do you stop someone from learning information? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's with budget cap and ATR time and stuff like that. Actually, that was a shit example. That was a really, really shit example. What's a better example? Okay. An employee at Red Bull worked on the Red Bull engine, has been working on the Red Bull engine for 5 years. He knows all the details of the engine in and out, right? And then he moves to Ferrari. He's then taking 5 years of development, 5 years of information, 5 years of technology and learnings to another team. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, information is so hard to limit. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing so many teams kind of taking people from different teams, because information is just so important. And that's why I think Cadillac are in a great spot with Perez and Bottas. I mean, not that Perez and Bottas, as obviously Perez and Bottas are both drivers, so they don't have as much information on the car as staff, but like Perez is bringing 4 years of, you know, experience from Red Bull, and Bottas is bringing what, like 5 years of experience, 6 years of experience from Mercedes to Cadillac. All right, Landers decided to come out softs. Liam's out softs as well. Oh no, Liam came back in. Carlos Sainz was being accused of stealing information at the beginning of the season for knowing how the Ferrari felt to drive, but you can't really call that saying. Yeah, exactly. You just got the YouTube short Hungry 2021 restart reaction. Oh my god, yeah, a few of the 2021 reactions still just like pop up on people's shorts feed. Do you think we'll get Paul? I don't know. I think a Mercedes. Is Cadillac making their own engine? No, for the first 2 years they'll be using Ferrari, and then they'll make their own in 2028, I believe. In 2028 or 2029? Thoughts on practice so far? I mean, this has been a pretty dead practice. I mean, no one's really out on track. Everyone's out on inters. I missed the Alba's podcast with Danish media, and she just revealed that K-Mag once babysat her when her family traveled with Magnusons to the United States. That's cute. Yeah, we've got rain in 10 minutes as well. This is going to be such a whack session, man. Cadillac probably waiting for the next regular cycle. No, they've announced it. I just can't remember what year it was. Cadillac. When is Cadillac making their own F1 engine? Cadillac will not make their own F engine in 2026. The team will start competing in 2026 using Ferrari power units. They'll make their own engines in 2029. Yeah, so 3 years they'll be using Ferrari's engines for. Talk of the town. Talk of the town. Would not be worth it considering new engine regs are on the horizon. Yeah, but you can start learning about F1 engines early. You know what I mean? Yeah, they'll only have 2 years. Was it 2 years? 3 years? When's the next regs? Is it 2030? 2031, sorry. We actually don't even know when the new regs are. Anyways, 2031 earliest. Yeah, so that's 2-3 years learning how to make an F1 engine. Yeah, it's not going to be the exact engine of the new regs, but 3 years is a lot of time anyway. I think they'd rather have their own engine for 3 years than to keep rocking a Ferrari on. Should be. We have qualifying. Also, yes, we'll be doing a watch along for quali as well. We'll be staying live until quali. We've got F1 Academy to watch. Odds Kimi outscores Russell next year. Next year, nothing's shown to me really that Antonelli can do it, other than the odd great race. I would say 15%, maybe even lower, to be honest. I can't wait to watch my predictions back at the end of this year. My predictions, everyone's predictions. No, I don't think anyone could have predicted how this season was going to play out. Lady boys, thank you for the follow. I screwed up. Wasn't the gearbox Charles hit steering wheel? She's right. Oh my god. Yeah, they're going slower on the sauce. Oh, it's such a dead session, man. Unless the new engines are unless the new engines are an unexpected revelation, I doubt they'll develop their own, especially with talks that next tricks may come sooner. Yeah, but again, you learn a lot from you learn a lot from developing an engine. And sometimes teams enter in Formula One more than just for Formula One. It's to learn, it's to gain technology and stuff for their road cars. So I'm sure Cadillac, they want to develop their own engine as soon as possible, not just for the F1 team, but also for their road cars. So the sooner they do it, the better. But they'd rather give themselves 3 years with a Ferrari engine to get up to speed in Formula One than spend all that time developing an engine as well. I would maybe argue, yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is just my opinion, my assumption. I think the engine is the hardest part to make in a Formula One car to be a top team, because like Mercedes dominated that era for so long because of their engine, and no one could fucking catch up. It was so hard. You got to worry about reliability. Oh my god, Piastri's all over the place. You got to worry about reliability. You got to worry about power consumption. Sorry, like how powerful the engine is. You got to worry about it being good in low speed corners, good on the straights. Fuel, like it's crazy how much goes into an engine. Compared to, again, I'm not underplaying how important aerodynamics are, but like, you chuck a few bits on the car and like you can kind of adapt it quickly. Like this engine is so complex. You can also look at other cars. You can look at a McLaren and be like, oh, that's interesting how they got their wishbone like this, or they got their fucking side pod like this, or their floor like this. You can't do that with an engine. Like, you can't look at the inside of a fucking engine. So I think engines are so fucking hard, and I'm really looking forward to next year, and I'm glad that there's a lot of teams using different engines, but I'm also very worried that we're gonna go back to I'm not gonna lie, if the first race of the season is smaller than a 5-second spread from first to last, I'll be shocked. I guarantee you, first to last will be like 6-second spread. Because one team is going to get it right and one team is going to get it wrong. Especially if you don't want your engine to blow up every few races. Yeah, I'm going to clip it, do it. Because if you look back, like, let's go back to dominant engine era 20, what year should we do? 2016, 2017? Which year should I pick? Of the Mercedes years, which year? I'm just going to pick a random race from one of the years. What was the year where Mercedes was so dominant with their engine? Let's just go 2016. So let's go F1 2016. Let's pick a random race. What's like a high speed track? Should we go at Baku? No, there was no Baku in 2016. What's a high speed track? Let's just go Spa. Belgium. F1 26 Belgium. Qualifying. Huh. Yeah. Okay. So pole was 146.7 and last was 150. That was Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes, actually. Last was 149. So 4 seconds slower. Oh, Hamilton purple. Whoa, 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 whoa! That might be a good pen for whoever that was. Holy. To be fair, Lewis saw that happening. I'm not blaming Lewis, but Lewis saw that happening and he pulled out last second. I would have backed out way earlier than that. Yeah, what I was saying about the engine though, like 4 seconds. To be fair, there's more money now in Formula One. There's a budget cap, and the regs are going to be different, so it could be less than 5 seconds. But I'm just going to take a guess, and I reckon first to last is going to be over 5 seconds in the first race of the season. I mean, you look at oh my god, if you look at the gaps, Wait, what? Let's actually look. No engine regs, solely off of aero. F1 2022, Bahrain. First race of the season with new regs in Bahrain. What was the spread with no engines? Because everyone was obviously basically like pretty much on the same engine at this point. So the Leclerc 130.5 and the Tiffy 133.6. Yeah, so it was a 3.1 second spread in 2022 with no engine regs. I reckon it'll be over 5 seconds. That's just my guess. That's actually a good. I reckon that's a good betting question. Below or under 5 second spread in the first quali of the year of the new regs. Yo, Magnate Gaming. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you, man. You didn't even add a message. You didn't even add a message to it. Thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate that. Holy shit. I wonder if Max is gonna be like this shit in the actual race. Well, everyone's on interview. We don't even know yet. We don't even know what everyone's. The pecking order's fucked right now. But yeah, Magnate, thank you so much for the super chat, dude. Really do appreciate that. Where's Holt? Yeah, wait. 5 drivers haven't even come out and done a lap time yet. What? This session's so shit, man. Grid Pentaho, I'd say to the V Cup. 2014 first year Mercedes hybrid, right? Actually, yeah, let's look at 2014. What was the first race of the season? Was it Bahrain? 2014 F1. Was it Bahrain? Oh, Australia. Australia qualifying. Fuck off. F1 store. Yeah, so first qualifying with the hybrid era. Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton 144.2. Oh, wait, what the fuck? Something happened. It must have rained because the timings got worse. Anyways, let's just look at Q1. Lewis 131.6. Yeah, 131.6 Lewis set. And then Marcus Ericsson, who set a valid lap, was a 35.1. So 4 seconds slower. 3.5 seconds slower. Yeah. Put it this way, it's going to be at least 3 seconds. If we are you can clip this. You can clip this. If the spread is under 3 seconds in the first qualifying of new regs, I'll eat my dick. I'm that confident. There's no way the spread is less than 3 seconds. And I don't think people are prepared. I don't think, this is not me dissing new fans. I don't think the new fans are prepared to see the spread with new regs. Because I remember watching 2019, 2020 Formula 1 and 2019, 2020, 2021 Formula 1. The fucking spread and the just difference between the top teams and the back teams was dead. 2022, it took so long for teams to figure out their problems, which makes Formula 1 so fun, watching everyone copy each other and who's the best and who's, who's shit. But we've been treated so nicely in the last 2.5 years of Formula 1 with how everyone's condensed in the field and everyone's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And, some people, specifically people who started watching in the last 3 years, their mindset of Formula 1 is like, this is how Formula 1 is. No. Formula 1 is you show up and you go, all right, 2 teams max have a chance of winning this race. And all right, we know this team's P3. We know this team's P4. We know this team's last. They're not going to make it out of Q1. Like, we've been treated so nicely this year where it's like 5-6 teams can go out in Q1. 5-6 teams can, 7 teams sometimes can make Q3. 4 teams can win a race and get podiums. Well, maybe not this year, win a race, but 4 teams can get podiums. And any team can get points. Beatriz, what's up, dude? On the stream? Elliot thing with the follow. Oh, boy, that almost lost the car into the wall. What the fuck? It's so risky going out in the sauce right now. Yeah, Yuki better than Max again. Damn, Yuki's doing good. Is this the fucking Carlos Sainz clip? It was close. It was close. Close. If only Kimmy fell off a little bit more. If only Kimmy, not Kimmy. Yeah, if only Kimmy fell off a little bit more, we were close to eating my dick raw on stream. But that just goes to show I was so confident Williams would not go from second last to best of the rest. And they have. Thankfully for my bet, I threw in Kimmy. I'm really waiting for the show where they show the cars for the 2026 season. You know, they're not doing that, unfortunately. Toilet. That was just a one-off thing for this year. We're going back to what I would argue, or some people would argue, as better. Don't get me wrong, I loved F175. It's fucking amazing. Some of the best, probably one of my favorite streams this year. Some of my favorite content from that stream. One of the things I've been most excited for this year. I loved F175. That event was so sick. But condensing all 10 teams into one event, we're gonna have 11 reveals in January. In January, we're gonna have 11 reveals, 11 separate events. Well, technically 10 because Red Bull and V Cup are doing theirs at the same event, but it's gonna be fucking sick. Anyways, Max double purples right now. Lewis goes 8/10 up on Russell. Okay, we're gonna finally see some times here, but as the track keeps getting better and better and better, the times are just gonna keep getting better and better and better. Like Leclerc's already 6/10 up on Lewis. Damn, appreciate so many of you tuning in the stream today. Thank you guys. It's so funny streaming at an absolutely fucked time like this and remembering, like, wait, it's not midnight for everyone around the world. Americans can watch right now. Australians and Asians can watch right now. I guess also anyone staying up late on a Friday night in Europe is watching. 1 a.m. is not that bad. Or 2 a.m. Yeah, guys, we will be watching F1 Race 1 after this. F1 Academy Race 1 after this. And then F1 qualifying later on today. All right, Yuki, 4/10 off Max. He's looking really good this weekend. He's been consistently near Max. I know 4/10 isn't great. But for Red Bull second seat stand, it's not bad. All right, where's Leclerc going to go? He's got 2 purples. I'm surprised Ferrari's looking good this weekend. 3/10 up. Interesting. I mean, look, you got to take these times with a grain of salt because of the conditions, but still, let's see how the McLarens respond. It always happens with new regs, big changes. Yeah. 2 servings of dick next year. I swear at the red carpet, most of the drivers look so uncomfortable during the commentary. Yeah. Well, there's an interesting clip from Jack Whitehall. I think I put it in. My Discord. But he basically said on a podcast that every single joke he said at F175 had to go through approval from Formula One and from the drivers and their managers. And F1 said no to George Russell's joke before he could even ask George. F1 said no to George Russell's train joke. And he was like, what the fuck? So Jack Whitehall apparently messaged George Russell's team privately and had to play a voice note to George. And George thought it was hilarious and was fine with it. So that just goes to show how pedantic Formula One are sometimes. But the fact that he had the permission to say the James Vowles freak off, but F1 said no to a train joke about Russell. Like, what? I don't know. F1's weird, man. I'm shocked that F1 gave him permission because, I mean, if you remember watching F175 with me, I said, like, I don't know how he got permission to do this. Like, I thought I was so convinced that he was just given free reign to say what he wants. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's up to the drivers to deal with what he says. But he actually had to have everything fucking checked. Is crazy to me now knowing that, like, some of these jokes were approved by F1. Like, what? What was the train joke? He said, George Russell reminds me of that guy on TikTok. Oh no, if George Russell wasn't a driver, he'd put a GoPro on his head and wheeze over trains. Apparently F1 thought that was too mean. Ham pole after Elkin's statement. Imagine that. Imagine Ferrari get a 1-2 or their first win of the year after fucking Elkin's statement. Less talking, right? What do you mean less talking? You being mean to me again? I think the re-reveal should be an event with all the teams and car reveal on the team. That way we are forced to show some of the actual car. Yeah, I've been banging on about car reveals for years. It's my favorite time of the year from a outside sporting standpoint. Like, don't be wrong, I love the sport, I love the on-track racing, but I also enjoy everything that comes off track. Like, I loved the F1 movie this year, I love the premiere, I love all the Lego stuff, I love all the activations, and I loved F1 75. But my problem was you take away 10 reveals and you force them into just one. But that also forced teams like Haas and Sauber and these teams that don't try with their reveals to actually do a cool reveal at the event, which was sick. But why not force all 11 teams next year to be like, hey, you have to do an event, you have to live stream it, and you have to reveal your car, and make them do reveal their cars in reverse championship order. So, like, in my ideal world would be, right, the 11 days leading up to testing, you got Cadillac, then you got Sauber, then you got, who's last, Alpine, then you go Audi, blah 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 blah, and you go through, and every day we got a different reveal, every day we got a different live stream, and every team, just like F1 75, does their own event, does their own presentation, however they want to do it. They can be corporate, they can be fun, they can be 1 minute long, they can be an hour long, whatever they want. But it has to be a proper reveal where they take the car off and they have to fucking show their car. Force them to show their car that they're going to show up at testing with, and force them, even if it's not their actual car for the first race, I don't care. The car that they have to use for testing, and force them to do an event. Because if you let F1 teams do what they want, Haas ain't going to try. This team ain't going to try. Although I am excited for car reveals this year. One, new regs, so we're going to have obviously teams trying to get the jump. They don't know if they're going to be championship contenders or not. They want to try, like, present themselves and get their team hyped and their fans hyped, right? So just naturally, the reveals this next year are going to be fucking banging. Two, we've now lost two of the bummiest teams on the grid in the sense of Sauber. Sorry, no, we haven't lost them. We've lost Sauber, and we've replaced by a multi-billion-dollar company in Audi. So that's going to be really nice. They're going to actually put money into their reveal. And we've got Cadillac as well, so an extra team on top. And yeah, just naturally with like regs, teams like to mix it up and change their branding and stuff like that. So, you know, it looks like Red Bull's changing their branding slightly with their little teaser. A lot of teams are going to change their branding. It's gonna be hype. Do you really think stopping to show ads are a benefit? What are you talking about on my stream? I don't have control over ads, sorry, sir. That's YouTube and Twitch is doing. Rio, thank you with the follow. I just watched the 2022 Saudi FP1 for boredom reasons. You watched a practice session from 3 years ago. Are you okay? The comments joking about explosions. What happened at that time? So in 2022, the first year in, was it 2022 or 2023? Yeah, 2022. The first year, no, the second year we're in Saudi Arabia. There was a drone attack from Yemen, I think it was. There's a drone attack from Yemen on an Aramco building not too far from the track, and you could literally see the explosion on the broadcast from the track. And F1 continued on as normal with a literal, you know, what term can you use? Like fucking conflict going on, like literally in sight from the track, and it was pretty scary. Like, I know a couple people who were at that event, and they were like, it was fucking scary not knowing, like, because like planes were stopped for the day and stuff like that. And yeah, F1 just continued on like normal, and it's kind of, when you think about it, like, it's not really a talked about moment. Like, it must be so scary. You're stuck in this, you know, very controversial country, and then there's a fucking attack going on that you can see from the track, and yeah. I remember all the principals going to the FIA, like, should we race, should we not race? And we still go to Saudi. Seller, what's up? What was the stream? No, 2021 was the first Saudi year. That was normal. That was with the Max vs. Lewis fight. It was the second year in Saudi we had the bombing. I saw a clip somewhere of Kevin arguing with one of the FAA officials saying that it's freaking dangerous for us to race right now. Yeah. Well, I mean, the argument was, this was the thing, right? Was the argument was, um, like, who's to say Yemen or any terrorist group or whatever wouldn't target F1 because it's a public event that's shown on TV. Everyone will see it. It'll be international news, blah, blah. But then Saudi's argument was they're not here to target you. They're here to target us. We've got it under control, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're protected. The track is protected. This is out of a protected area, blah, blah, blah. And it was just kind of like the fact you even have to discuss whether whether someone would target you or not. You just, at that point, it's like, why are you even fucking going to that country? But in saying that, you could say the same thing about a lot of countries in the world at the moment. I'm not defending Saudi or anything like that, but you know, you could argue like, oh, you go to America and this is going to happen. You go to, I don't know, wherever. We pay you too much money for you to feel scared. Yeah. Talk it down. I'm pretty sure they hit during the event because it was televised. They wanted PR monetary damage to Saudi as well as a bargaining chip. Oh, we're going to bomb your facilities live on screen again. Yeah. As I mean, it was, yeah. It's so weird. I have 5 minutes left to practice. Max at the top. We like to see that. Russell P2. Where's McLaren? Have McLaren done a time yet? Okay, the track's just getting better and better now. Can I say what scares you about the Vegas race? Sure. Then you've got a big tote. Line out a box of electricals is right, but where's Piastri's time? What track was it at where the red light near identical to a red flag that Piastri caught? More street circuits, couldn't that become more common? That was Saudi. There was like a balcony that had like a red thing. Liam at the top. Fuck yeah. But that won't stay long. But that's a good sign for VCub. VCub doesn't look as good on track, but it still looks nice. Yeah, track's getting better. I want to see these big guys, big boys, do their times. I mean, Russell's not setting purples, but yeah, he's a second up on Liam now. Okay. Track's just getting better and better. X Riddle, they follow. A few years ago, a county show was in Vegas and someone on a hotel on the strip shot the open area of the concert. Tall buildings are a big event will always scare me. Yeah, that Mandalay Bay incident is so fucking scary. That's what I mean by like, I'm not gonna talk about this any longer because I hate talking about like political, controversial shit on my stream because like we all lack knowledge and we all got different opinions. We had to enjoy Formula One, but like that is a prime example of like it doesn't matter which country you go to, situations like that could happen anywhere, but it's just crazy that it's always America, isn't it? Or it's more often than not it's America, and it's just like I spoke about this on the stream a few weeks ago, but it's just like at what point is it just like it just feels like every single event that happens in America, it's like, oh, this happened, this guy was shot, this guy was stabbed, this thing happened, that thing happened. It's like, holy fuck. Like, I get America's a big country with a lot of people, so it's bound to look like there's more shit happening in that country because there's just more people for that shit to happen. But it's just like, holy fuck. You sound sleepy and look sleepy. Do I look sleepy? Maybe a little bit. But I'm not sleepy. I'm just talking quieter because it's 1 a.m. and my neighbor don't like sound. Why I moved from the US to Denmark. I'm mostly happy with the decision. I've seen multiple streamers not go to any event after the Charlie Kirk incident, but go anywhere else in the world just fine. Yeah. The thing is, you just have to be smart, right? You just have to be smart at the end of the day. Well, okay, that sounds stupid. I was just gonna say sometimes, put it this way, like in Dubai, I think I got scammed twice, and Dubai's the safest country in the world as far as I'm aware. Like I generally felt safe. Like everywhere I went, I felt fucking safe. Like I never once felt like women walk in the street late at night. Like it's so fucking safe there. It's insane. But I still got scammed twice because I was I went in with the mindset of like, oh, this is fucking safe. No one's gonna do anything, and then you just have people like, you just kind of fall for shit. Um, so it's just one of those things. Like, it doesn't matter which country you go to. Like, like my mum's always like, London, you're gonna get stabbed. You're gonna lose your phone. And I'm like, nothing's happened to me. I'm fine. But if you're silly, it might happen. Or if you're unlucky. I mean, fuck, there was a stabbing on my train line like 2 days ago. This race location is wallpaper heaven. Yeah, the photographers better get some nice shots. Vegas might be top 3 sketchiest cities. Sketchy in what way though? It is very like sleazy kind of place. A lot of, drunk people. Interesting activities, but I felt pretty safe in Vegas. I felt very safe in New York as well. LA, hell no. LA was the second least safe I've felt in my life. Actually, probably the most least, the least safe I've felt. Oh, another yellow flag. Oh, it's just people going down runoffs. All right, Max might end the session at the top here. Oh, no. He's locked up. I don't know what to do for fantasy, man. The track kept getting better. Now it looks like everyone's just a second apart. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yo, Alex Gillard, thank you for the raid, dude. I appreciate that. Welcome in, everyone from Alex's stream. FP3 is just wrapped up, but we are going to be watching F1 Academy Race 1 and chilling until qualifying starts, so feel free to stick around. But yeah, thanks so much for the raid, Alex. Guys, be sure to chat Alex. Shout out in the chat right now. What are you doing today? What are you doing on stream till 1:30 a.m.? Were you doing a iRacing race or something? Oh, Gazzy went down the runoff as well. Damn, so many people there on their final lap were trying to push. Qualifying is going to be very interesting today. Notice how every single time someone was doing a push lap, there at the end, they went off. Max, Gazzy, and... Did he? Wow. I don't feel like Max... Did Max go offline? I don't feel like Max went offline. Camilo, thank you for the follow. Then backed out a very solid lap. Fully sandbaggy, you reckon? Wait, how about... Wait. I've only just realized McLaren at 19/20th. Yeah, I've learned nothing from this session. I learned nothing from FP2. This is too... fantasy's too hard this week, man. Fantasy's too hard. Speaking of fantasy, we're going to get into that now. Guys, that wraps up FP3. Let's do a little rundown of the order. So, Norris last, then Piastri, Sonoda, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Leclerc, Ocon, Bortoletto, Sainz, Behrman, Gasly, Alonso, Stroll, Lawson, Antonelli, Hamilton, Hadjar, Albon, Verstappen, and Russell. So, I mean, takeaways from this, VCarb looked good. Will it Mercedes look good? That's like the only takeaways I really got from that. But yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how much that affected that session because like it didn't rain at all that session, but it was just so damp the whole time. and it took what 40 minutes, I think, until someone came out on a soft tire. Like that's crazy. Anyways, guys, that is it for FP3. Thank you all for tuning on in. The stream is not over. We're gonna stay live to. We got a fantasy to do. We have got F1 Academy Race 1 to watch, and highlights from previous years to watch as we build on up into qualifying. But if you're watching on TikTok or YouTube right now, come join us on Twitch. That's where we're going to be staying live. But yeah, YouTube, I'm ending the stream there. Thank you for watching. Come join us on Twitch. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later on today for qualifying. Bye bye.